And good afternoon and welcome to our lunchtime flow. Today, let's come into tabletop. Okay, so just taking the hands about shoulder distance or a little wider, spreading the fingers, right, knees about hip distance, and either tops of the feet on the mat or toes can be tucked under. And we'll just start to warm up the wrists. So just shifting back slightly and then leaning forward. Right, maybe taking shoulders past the wrists and towards the fingertips. And just hold in this stretch. And then start to shift back. And rocking forward. Right, just feeling that sensation of stretch into the hands and arms. And then leaning back. And let's do that one more time. Just start to lean forward any amount. And just pause and hold this stretch. And then coming back to center. And then turning the fingertips to face the edges of the mat. And just begin to rock from side to side. I'm trying to get the whole palm of the hand on the mat and keeping the fingers spread wide. And just feel the weight shift between the hands. And then start to make a few circles through the arms. And just feeling that weight travel through the hands. And then change direction. And then back to center. And turning the hands forward so the fingertips face the top of the mat. And let's cycle through some cat and cows. So on your next breath, start to scoop the spine and drop the belly, taking your tailbone up, sending the heart forward and taking your gaze up. And then start to lower the head and tuck the tailbone, really stretching across the back body, coming into cat. When you're ready, making your way back towards cow. And just continue to cycle between cat and cow. And just going at your pace. And focus on creating waves through the spine. And maybe pausing in each shape just to hold the stretch. And coming back to center. Let's extend the right leg out behind us and flex the foot so that the toes are pointing down towards the mat. Start to outer rotate the right leg so that the toes point out to the side. And then sweeping the right leg out to the side. And just pause and hold here. Right, feeling the weight through the arms. And just try to even out the weight. Maybe lifting the leg up just a little higher. And then slowly set the foot down. Walk the hands in towards you. And then rising up. Taking arms up and over. And let's take a side bend here. Setting the right hand onto the right thigh. And just stretch the left arm over. Right, hug that right waist in. And then expand a little bit more across the left side body. Sweeping arms back up, coming back to center. Let's interlace hands behind the head. And grow tall through the spine. And let's twist to the right. Unwind through center. And twist to the left. And just pause here in this twist. Really root through that right foot. Maybe find just a little bit more rotation. and then unwind, coming back to center. Let's tip the right elbow towards the thigh. Again, hug that right waist in and stretch all across the left. Rise back up to center. And then taking the arms out wide, let's start to lean to the left and then plant the left hand down and reach the right arm up. Let's sweep the right arm underneath the left and just stretch across the back of the right shoulder. Taking the arm back up, and let's do that 2 more times. Sweep the right arm under and reach back up. 1 more time, taking the arm under and then stretch back up. Planting the right hand down and walking hands forward towards tabletop. Lift the right leg, sweep it out behind you, bend the knee and just tuck the knee behind the left, and then just sit the hips back any amount. Shifting forward towards tabletop, just untuck the legs and we'll go to the other side. Extending the left leg out behind you. Start to outer rotate that left leg and sweep it over to the side. Again, pausing here. Maybe lifting the left leg up a little more. And then slowly set the foot down. Walking hands in towards you. And then sweeping the arms up and over. Right, set the left hand onto the left thigh and take that side bend once again. Hug that left waist in and stretch all across the right side. Sweep the arms up and then interlace hands behind the head. Let's twist to the left. Unwind through center and twist to the right. And once again, just hold here in your twist. Right, press down through that left foot. Maybe find just a bit more rotation. And then coming back to center, start to tip the left elbow towards the thigh. And then come back up. Taking the arms out wide. Start to lean to the right and set the right hand down and stretch the left arm up. Let's thread that left arm under the right and then open back up. 2 more times, sweeping the arm under, reach back up, and last time, take that left arm under the right and then open back up. Planting the left hand down and walking hands forward towards your tabletop. Let's lift the left leg up. Sweep it out behind you and take it past the right leg. Bend the left knee and tuck it behind the right. And once again, just start to sit back. Just taking that stretch through the hips. And then shifting forward and untuck the legs and come back into tabletop. Let's tuck the toes under and start to walk the hands back. Start to lift the knees up, right, making your way towards a squat at the back of the mat. You can take a moment to reset the feet here, and maybe even just sway a little from side to side. Right, lift up through the crown of the head and pull the tailbone down towards the mat. Or just feel that lengthening through the spine. And then back to center. Right, start to straighten the legs and take the hips up. Coming into standing fold at the back of your mat. Lifting up halfway. Right, lengthen the spine, pull the shoulders back. Folding forward, Let's rise up to stand, taking arms up and over, and then right away hinging forward, making your way back into your standing forward fold. Lift up halfway, unfurl the spine, send the heart forward, and then folding forward, start to walk the hands forward, right? Making your way towards plank. Right? Once you've found plank, right, you can hold here with knees up or knees down, and then lower all the way down onto the mat. Untuck the toes and press the feet down. Pulling hands towards the back of the mat, start to lift up for your cobra. And then lower all the way back down. And we'll do 2 more. Start to rise up. Lift up through the crown of the head. Keep the back of the neck long. And then lowering back down. One last time. Curling up. Really send the heart forward. And then lowering back. And then push back into tabletop. Let's walk the hands to the right side of the mat and step the left foot forward. Sweep arms up and over, and let's twist to the left. Take the arms out wide. Start to lower that left arm back and stretch the right arm up. Rise up through your twist, and let's plant the right hand down and take the left arm up. Sweeping the left arm down, plant the hand, tuck the right toes and lift the right knee up, and then step the right foot forward next to the left for your standing forward fold. Lift and lengthen halfway, and then fold forward. Rising up to stand, taking the arms up and over, and let's come into chair, bend the knees and take the hips back. Keep the spine tall and lift the heart up. And then sweeping the hands down, coming into your fold. Lift up halfway, fold forward once again, plant the hands and step the feet back, finding your plank, knees up or down. Lower down onto the mat and untuck the toes. Take the hands under the shoulders. And then on your next breath, start to rise up. Lift the legs up and lift the hands up. Right, lift up through the crown of the head and take everything up just a little higher. And then slowly lower all the way back down. Hands by the low ribs and push back into tabletop. And we'll do that same flow other side. Walking hands to the left side of the mat. Let's step the right foot forward. Taking arms up and over. Let's twist to the right. Taking arms out wide. Right, lowering the right arm back and stretch the left arm up. Rise up through your twist and then plant the left hand and reach the right arm up. Let's plant the right hand down and tuck the left toes under. Lift the left knee up and step the left foot forward next to the right. Coming up halfway, right, keep the spine long and pull the shoulders back. Folding forward, really rooting down through the feet. Rise up to standing and circle arms up and over. And coming into chair, let's bend the knees and take the hips back. Right, lift up through the heart, extend out through the fingertips. And then sweep the arms down and come into your forward fold. Lift up halfway and fold forward to plant the hands, stepping feet back, coming into your plank, right? Knees up or down. Lower all the way down onto the mat and untuck the toes, hands under the shoulders. And then on your next breath, start to lift up, lifting legs, lifting hands. Right, keep the back of the neck long. Lift up through the crown of the head. Take everything up a little higher and just hold and breathe. And then let's lower back down. Hands by the low ribs and push back into tabletop. And we'll start to add on to our flow. Walk the hands to the right side of the mat and step that left foot forward. Taking arms up and over for low lunge. Let's take hands to heart center and just start to lean forward. And let's twist to the left any amount. Right, don't worry about getting the elbow to touch the leg. Right, just hold in your twist. And then unwind to center, still leaning forward. Let's tuck the right toes under and lift that right knee up. Right, coming into a lunge, we're still leaning forward. And once again, let's twist to the left. Right, and just hover the elbow and just hold. Let's unwind to center. Reach the arms forward and then step the right foot forward next to the left and set up into chair. Right, hips back and take the arms up. Right, finding chair pose. Let's take hands to heart center and then slowly start to lower elbows down towards the legs and just connect the elbows to the thighs. And we'll come up to stand onto the left leg. So focus on keeping the right elbow and right thigh connected. Shift the weight into the left foot. Start to lift the right heel up. Start to straighten through that left leg. Right, lifting the right foot up off the mat. And slowly coming up to stand. Right, try to keep the elbow connected to the thigh for as long as you can. And then coming to stand and take the right knee around hip height and flex the foot. Let's sweep the right knee out to the side. And then take the sole of the right foot anywhere along the inside of the left leg, coming into tree pose. And you can keep hands at heart center, or option to take the arms up and over. And really hug in towards midline and just hold and find your steadiness. Taking hands back to heart center. Let's turn the right knee forward. Let's reconnect that thigh and elbow. And then start to bend into that left knee and lower all the way back down into our chair with the elbows connected to the thighs. Give yourself a breath here and then hinge forward and release the arms, coming into our standing forward fold. Lifting up halfway, fold forward once again, plant the hands and step the feet back. Find your plank, right? Knees up or down. Lower all the way down onto the mat and untuck the toes, hands under the shoulders. And when you're ready, start to rise up. Right? Float the legs up, float the hands up. Maybe take everything up higher. And then lower all the way back down. Hands by the low ribs. And push back into tabletop. And we'll do that same flow on the other side. Taking hands over to the left side of the mat. Let's step the right foot forward, taking arms up and over for low lunge. Let's twist open to the right. Start to lower the right arm back and take the left arm up. Rise back up into your twist and then unwind, take arms up and over. Taking hands to heart center, start to lean forward and let's twist to the right and just hold and hover. And holding in your twist, let's tuck the left toes under and start to lift that left knee up. Right, still in this hovering, twisting lunge. Coming back to center. Let's reach the arms forward and then step the left foot next to the right. And then coming into chair, right, lift the arms up, right, keep the knees bent and take the hips back. Hands to heart center. And let's start to lower and connect our elbows onto our thighs. And just holding in this smaller chair. We'll come to stand onto the right leg. Right, so focusing on maintaining the connection between the left elbow and left thigh. Let's shift the weight into the right foot. Start to lift the left heel up. Start to straighten into that right leg and start to rise up to stand. Right, keeping that left elbow and thigh connected for as long as you can. And then once you've come up to standing, and just taking the knee about hip height, flex the foot and then sweep the leg over to the side. And then taking the sole of the left foot anywhere along the inside of the right leg. Setting up for tree, really hug into the midline. And either staying here, whoop, or you can reach the arms up and over. And if the arms are raised, taking them back to heart center. Let's sweep the left knee forward. Maybe lift the leg up a little higher. Reconnect to the elbow onto the thigh. Start to bend into that right knee and lower all the way back down. Coming back into this chair pose with elbows connected to thighs. Take a breath here and then tip forward and release the arms. And coming into your standing forward fold. Lifting up halfway, folding forward, plant the hands, step the feet back, find your plank. Lower down onto the mat, untucking the toes, and just set the hands under the shoulders. And then when you're ready, start to lift up, right? Taking the legs away from the mat, taking hands away from the mat, and just holding and breathing. And then lower all the way back down. Hands by the low ribs and push back into child's pose. Right, arms can stay forward. You can sweep them out behind you or bend the elbows and stack the hands and rest the forehead onto hands. Just a moment here to pause. Right, reconnect with your breath and just noticing how you're feeling in this moment. And then coming forward into tabletop. Let's take the hands over to the right and step the left foot forward. Tuck the right toes under and lift the right knee up. Pivot onto the sole of the right foot and then sweep the arms up and over, coming into warrior one. You can take a moment just to reset your stance. Right? Spin that inner right thigh out behind you. Right? Extend out through the inner left thigh and hug the left hip back. Keep the spine tall and extend out through the fingertips. Let's take hands to heart center and start to lean forward. Let's twist to the left. Right? So don't worry about hooking the elbow, or just keep the elbow floating and just hold here in this twist. And then unwind. Take that left arm onto the left thigh and sweep the right arm overhead for extended side angle. Let's rise up into warrior two. Again, you can reset the feet. Looking over the left hand, flip the left palm up. Lower the right arm back and stretch the left arm up for exalted warrior. Rise back into your warrior two and start to straighten the left leg. Start to lean forward and then lower the left hand down and take the right arm up for triangle pose. Stay wide across the chest and keep the spine long and lift the heart up. And on your next breath, rise up and let's reverse the triangle. Take the right arm down and stretch the left arm up. And rise back up to center, lower the left arm, and then take a big step forward with the right and come to stand at the top of the mat. Take a moment here to pause and just noticing how the right and left sides feel. And then setting up for chair. Let's take the arms up and over, bend the knees and take the hips back. Taking hands to heart center. Let's twist to the left, right? And let's connect that right elbow onto the left thigh. We're going to make our way up to stand on the right leg. So let's look down towards the toes. Start to shift the weight into the right foot and lift the left heel up off the mat. Right, start to straighten into that right leg and lift the left foot up. And then start to rise up to stand. Right, and then just try to maintain that connection for as long as you can. And then lift up into this standing balance twist. So still twisting towards the left with that left knee up. Start to tip forward and extend your left leg out behind you. Right, so we're going to step back into a lunge. Right, take the left toes down. Right, bending into that right knee. And then unwind to center. Let's twist to the right. Right, just float the elbow. And then coming back to center. Let's reach the arms forward. And then sweep the hands down onto the mat. Let's lower the left knee down and take the right leg back. Return back into tabletop. And we'll do that same flow on the other side. Walking hands to the left side of the mat. Let's step the right foot forward. And let's sweep. Leave the hands on the mat. Let's tuck the left toes under and lift the left knee up. Pivot onto the sole of that left foot. And then let's sweep the arms up, coming into our warrior one. And maybe take a moment just to reset your stance. And just hold here in your warrior. Let's take hands to heart center and start to lean forward and twist to the right. Again, don't worry about getting the elbow to hook around the thigh. And just hold here in this twist. And then unwind Take that right forearm onto the right thigh and reach the left arm over for extended side angle. Rise up and come into your warrior two. Right, take a moment to reset that stance. Look over the right hand, flip the palm up, and then reverse. And come into your exalted warrior. Return back into your warrior two. Start to straighten the right leg. Hinging forward, let's take the right hand down, left arm up for triangle. Right, lift up through the crown of the head. Lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Just holding here. And then let's rise up and reverse the triangle. Right, set the left arm down, take the right arm up. And then coming back up, lower the right hand, and let's step that left foot forward next to the right. Just come to stand at the top of your mat. Again, just a moment to pause. And just noticing how the left and right sides feel. And then setting up for chair. Let's take the arms up and over, bend the knees and take the hips back. Find your chair. Hands to heart center. And then let's twist to the right. And then connect that left elbow to the right thigh. And we'll come to stand up onto the left leg. So looking down towards the toes. Let's shift the weight into the left foot. Start to lift the right heel up. Start to straighten into that left leg and start to lift all the way up. And just maintaining that connection of your elbow and thigh for as long as you can. And then come to stand in this balanced twist. Right, still leaning over to the, or twisting towards the right. And that right knee still lifting up. Start to lean towards the top of the mat. And then slowly step the right foot back. Right, coming into a lunge. Coming toward, unwind to center. And then start to twist to the right or left. And hold here in this twisting lunge. Again, just keep the elbow floating. Don't worry about hooking the elbow. And then unwind to center. Reach the arms forward. And then let's plant the hands. Bend into that right knee and lower down. And take the right leg or left leg back. And then untuck the toes. And sit back into child's pose. Right, arms forward or arms back. Or you can bend the elbows and stack the hands and rest the forehead onto hands. And then make your way up to a seat. And let's take the legs out in front. Let's extend the left leg out to the side, bending into the right knee, sole of the right foot along the inside of the left leg. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's take a twist to the right. You can just rest the left hand onto the right knee. Maybe grow just a little taller and then find a little bit more rotation. And then setting up for a side bend. Let's take the right arm up and over. Start to lean over your left leg and reach that right arm over. Hug that left waist in and expand across the left side body. And just hold and breathe. And then rise all the way back up, coming back into your twist. And then unwind. Right, and turn to face the left leg. Sitting up nice and tall, flex the left foot and hug the thigh down into the mat. And let's start to lean over the left leg any amount. Hands can rest on either side of the leg, or you can hold onto the leg. And then you can stay here, or if you'd like, option to start to round through the spine and lower the head down. And just start to feel a sensation of stretch across the back body. And then coming back up to a seat, and let's switch sides. And taking the right leg out to the side. Left knee bent, sole of the left foot along the inside of the right leg. Right, sit up nice and tall. Find space through the spine, lift up through the crown of the head, and then twist to the left. You can hold that left knee with the right hand. Maybe just grow taller in your seat, and then find just a little bit more rotation. And then setting up for our side bend. Let's reach that left arm up. Start to lean over the right leg and stretch that left arm over. Right, hug your right waist in and really expand across the left. And then let's rise back up and come back into your twist. And then unwind and turn to face the right leg. Right, sit up nice and tall. Flex the right foot and hug the thigh down into the mat. Let's start to lean over the right leg any amount. Again, hands can rest onto the leg, or hands can be on either side of the leg. And you can stay here in this shape, or option if you like. You can start to round the spine and just lower the head. Right, just taking a stretch across the back. And then slowly coming back up, extending the legs out in front, and then making your way down onto your back. Bending the knees and just walking the heels in towards the sit bones. We'll set up just to windshield wiper the legs. So taking the arms out wide, right, maybe feet about hip distance or slightly wider. All right, let's start to drop the knees to the right and then sweep them up through center and take them over to the left. And so just continue to sweep the legs from side to side. And then the next time the knees drop to the right, you can just set up into a reclined twist. You can keep the legs staggered. You can stack the legs. Maybe push the left hip forward a little and hug that right waist back. Maybe take your gaze to the left and just settle here into your twist. And then coming back to center, and then start to drop the knees over to the left and just finding your reclined twist on the other side. Again, option to keep the legs staggered, or you can stack the legs. And you can look towards the right. Right? Maybe pushing through that right hip a little more, and just hug that left waist back. And just notice how that feels in your twist. And then just allow the body to settle into this twist. And making your way back to center, let's hug the knees in towards the chest. And just rock a little from side to side. And just tuning into your awareness, noticing if your body's asking for any final poses or any final movements. You can take these next moments to set those up. If your body's ready for final relaxation, you can release the legs, extend them out along the mat, and taking arms to your sides. And just allow the body to get heavy, soften the breath, letting go of all effort, and just settling into stillness. And I will leave you here so that you can take as long as you'd like in your final relaxation pose. And thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. It is always an honor and truly a joy to share this practice. Sending gratitude for our practice and gratitude for our community. Wishing you a beautiful rest of the day. Peace.